Maybe you've heard about exciting new 5G technology that promises to make our connections to the internet and all of the things connected to the internet faster and better than ever. Like other cell phone technology, 5G emits radiation. Two federal agencies recently said the available scientific evidence does not support the idea that 5G emits enough radiation to hurt people. But some scientists disagree. At first, the concern sounded far-fetched. We were surprised by what we learned. Today's cover story is 5G Whiz. Chances are you haven't met many people like Professor Martin Paul. Is it true that you do not carry a cell phone?
Yes, I don't carry a cell phone.
How do you possibly communicate in today's world without your cell phone?
I use a wired mouse. I use a wired connection from my computer to my printer. And so everything's wired. And I even have a shield over the screen so that I get less EMS from the screen. So there are ways of protecting yourself.
EMF, electric and magnetic fields, are invisible areas of energy or radiation produced by items like electric appliances, computer screens, and cell phone technology. Paul is so worried about the potential for health risks from EMF, he even has special clothes with lots of little metal wires to shield him from the rays. We had no idea when we asked, but yes, he's wearing the fabric right now. Is that a shirt?
It's a T-shirt, yeah. Oh. And it has little metal fibers in it, and it helps to shield your
Makes
torso.
Them bounce off or not come through?
Yeah.
But before you make the mistake of writing off Paul as a nutty professor, you should know he's considered one of the world's preeminent scientists on electromagnetic fields. And his concerns are backed up by dozens of peer-reviewed scientific studies. You got your BA at Johns Hopkins University, very prestigious institution. You got your PhD at the California Institute of Technology. So you're someone who comes to this issue with a great set of credentials and experience.
Yes, and my bachelor's degree is in physics, and my PhD is in biochemistry and genetics. So I've got both the life sciences and the physics. It's the way in which these two interact which is crucial for understanding how EMFs impact the cells of our bodies.
We'll get to that in a moment. But first, what is 5G? And for that matter, what are the previous Gs, which stands for generation, of the world's mobile networks? The rollout of this new technology is happening as we speak.
And we're going to have 5G. We're going to have the best 5G in the world, just like we have everything else.
What was 1G?
1G was just basic voice on your phone.
2G?
2G was when we went to a little bit of data. You could get a text, for example.
Jonathan Adelstein heads the Wireless Infrastructure Association and represents companies like Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. 3G?
3G was actual text. You could get the internet on your phone easily.
4G?
And 4G, you could stream video. All of a sudden, you had much faster connection, really a broadband connection, not just an internet connection.
And what is 5G?
And 5G is going to be 4G on steroids. It's going to be data that's faster and more of it, but it also enables the connection of more devices to the network.
But the same magic that makes 5G bigger, better, and faster poses serious health risks to people, says Paul.
We know that the EMFs impact the cells of our bodies, all the cells of our bodies, by activating some channels. And when they do that, they produce all kinds of effects. And those include neurological, neuropsychiatric effects, they include reproductive effects, they include oxidative stress, which is involved in essentially all chronic diseases. So I'm deeply concerned about this situation.
Is it your feeling that mobile phone use and 5G in the future have been and are causes of chronic disease epidemics in this country?
I believe that the exposures we already have are producing major effects already on our health, and that 5G will be vastly worse than anything that we are already exposed to.
At least 3 expert medical groups have linked certain kinds of electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, to cancer, particularly childhood leukemia. The U.S. National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences, a working group under the World Health Organization, and a European scientific committee, which studied cell phones in particular. Paul says there's more to worry about.
What's been shown is you get depression, you get, I can't sleep, I'm tired all the time, I'm depressed, I've got headaches, I can't concentrate, I'm anxious, all the things that everybody complains about now, we know are caused by EMF exposures. And not just one type, but multiple types of EMF exposures.
The concerns are shared by citizens and scientists around the world who are campaigning against 5G. A small sidewalk rally last May in Bethesda, Maryland.
Hello, Council.
And in Sacramento, California last June.
These antennas are being installed without our permission, without any warning at all. Many of us do not want to be guinea pigs in this experiment, but we apparently have no say in the matter.
Still, U.S. regulators insist there's nothing to fear. After reviewing hundreds of studies, the Food and Drug Administration recently told Congress the current safety limits for cell phone radiation remain acceptable for protecting the public health. At the same time, the FDA did urge the cell phone industry to support new research on cell phone safety.
We've heard from a lot of witnesses about the very important potential of 5G.
At a hearing in February, Senator Richard Blumenthal asked wireless representatives if they had funded new safety studies as the FDA asked. They said,
"No, I'm not aware of any."
So there really is no research ongoing. We're kind of flying blind here so far as health and safety is concerned.
Is Senator Blumenthal correct that we're flying blind?
It's something that's been well studied. It's continuing to be studied. We follow all the guidelines of the World Health Organization. We defer to the scientists as the industry who say it's safe. You can't ever, prove a negative, but there have been no indications of any problems. Let, the government do whatever it needs to do to set the strongest possible guidelines, and the industry will adhere to them.
How do you explain them saying the science doesn't exist, that there's nothing that gives us cause for concern?
It's all corruption. There's no other explanation. I think there are at least 25 different reviews that have been published on this over the years.
You're implying that the industry, the telecommunications industry, is so powerful here in this country. Is that a reason you think why our government hasn't commissioned these studies and isn't talking about it?
I can't figure out any other reason.
Whatever the case, 5G deployment in the U.S. is moving full steam ahead. 5G for mobile phones is already being deployed, with broader expansion coming in 2020, especially in big cities. Supporters say there's no reason to think it's dangerous. Critics say there's no evidence it's safe. It strikes me that there's probably zero chance we're going back from the technology that creates this kind of exposure.
We need to dramatically decrease exposures. We are taking risks of the sort that no rational society can possibly take. And we're doing this blindly and in my judgment, with absolute stupidity.
The FCC has been criticized for not updating cell phone safety standards since 1996. But FCC officials insist there's nothing special about 5G and that the higher frequency signals used to deliver it pose no health risk.